Hey everybody, welcome to the AMA from Fusion today. My name is Bret Schlussman. I'm in charge of technology here at Fusion and I'd like to welcome everyone. Please start typing in your questions, or we can probably give people maybe 30 more seconds to join up. One other important fact is we have our ever-present, ever-cordial, ever-genial, and ever-knowing community manager. Yona's in the room. He's going to... So things that are related to community questions, we can get responses from Yona, or Yona will be able to follow up. So Yona is a fantastic resource at Fusion. He's worked hard to keep the community informed and to take any concerns from the community and pass them on to the organization. Big question on the mind of everyone is PSN 2.0, and maybe we'll talk about that in maybe just give everyone 2 more minutes, because we're going to keep getting the same question asked over and over again, I would assume. If anybody wants to introduce themselves and where they're from, as you know, Fusion is based in Shanghai, New York City. We have Joey out in the Netherlands. So pretty much the company works 24 hours a day on various things. The funnest thing about Fusion, which I think everyone in the current PSN 1.0 model, everyone was really focused on staking, making sure the blockchain worked. But when we started Fusion, if you go to our website, one of the greatest and most powerful things in which we're doing is making atomic transactions, powerful verbs, for building the financial transaction solution platform for the future. One of the things that I would have liked to see more in 1.0 instead of mining is actually the use of the API. What excites me is that I really believe that the vision of the API, in order to create verbs to enable time value platforms, has truly been met. We use the API. You'll hear me talking a lot about the API because as we're based in New York City, we have a lot of strong financial people who are very interested in the Fusion platform and how that API will benefit them. You've seen one of the latest announcements with AXP. Over 10 million in loans are coming on the system very quickly. I work with their development team closely to make sure that our API is rich and powerful and will deal with the infrastructure constraints related to that product. A lot of people out in the community, they deal with the token price. I deal with the utility of the platform. My biggest focus is to make one of the most robust, strongest platforms to support the financial infrastructure platforms of the future. And I have to say the whole team has done a tremendous job of bringing people in as that API has grown, as the work from the community in helping us find any defects inside of PSN 1.0 and making that stronger. So what excites me more than anything else is that people who learn our API, understand the time lock value platform, understand what a quantum swap is, understand what time lock is, understand what user creatable assets are. You can truly build almost anything. And when Yona and I had done our introductory talk about 5 months ago, Yona, 6 months ago, it was fantastic because we talked about all the applications that are possible on top of Fusion that require much less infrastructure. Very exciting ones between April and May that will bring home the fact that this API was rich, powerful, concise, and enabling people to save time to deliver the technology visions for the future. And I got to put my glasses on real quick and see what else. Hey, Chuck's from London. Nice to have you aboard. Any business in Canada, Yona would know specifically about that. I'm just dealing I really can't even tell what the entities are until we do our announcements, but we're doing business all over the world. Fusion and Phantom, as you know, one second, I'm just going to drink a little water. The Phantom has done some incredible jobs related to their Gossip API for consensus to deal with very high speed processing of transactions. Andre Cornier had helped out with Phantom. He is someone who reviews our code, and we have a close relationship with, challenging us constantly. And I think we'll have some good announcements in the future about Phantom, just because the Gossip protocol is a powerful mechanism in order to increase transaction throughput, which is our end game. Our end game is, how are we going to do it faster, better, cheaper, smarter? STOs, I'm actually not going to address at this time because I don't want to get in trouble about saying anything. But Yona, we should probably do an article in the future about STOs, the securitized token offerings. Compliance issues, just so you know, the team is very aware of KYC, know your customer, AML, anti-money laundering, and PEP, politically exposed persons. I've worked myself in the past on many onboarding systems with KYC, AML, and PEP. Very straightforward to do. But yes, the compliance questions I don't even want to touch unless they're approved inside of the company, because we have to be very careful in how we're talking about things. What I want to talk about today is the utility of the platform. Reading the next question. So the Wolverine, he says, 1 year, no development, broken testnet, no top exchanges, all BS. I'll just redact that last comment a bit. So you must be a New Yorker like me, because I'm trying not to curse inside this presentation. I would disagree. PSN 1.0 was a staged network. When I came on board, my goal was to fix the problem that we hadn't delivered anything. We delivered a network that supported over several hundred nodes worldwide. We're up to 320,000 transactions. We've learned a lot to build rich transactions. If you've gone up to the Fusion API, read the docs.io and see the richness of the functionality. If you look at the React applications we've put in open source with PSN 2.0, there's going to be more exciting things with the quantum swapping. The fact that we're closing business, announced the AXP partnership is not BS. I mean, that is a real company putting real loans onto our chain. PSN 2.0, we have improved the API and the robustness of it. When you say broken net, we have to be specific. We are able to build powerful applications that people are putting a lot of money into, investing into true old line businesses that are moving to the blockchain. We have removed the BS and all the hype that has been talked about many projects. If you look at many blockchain projects, people haven't delivered. People haven't delivered their testnet with several hundred nodes. People haven't delivered rich APIs. People haven't delivered true partnerships in which build upon these APIs. So I don't want to get into the marketing bullshit. For me, I'm very proud of where we are at and where we are going. I think that with the work with PSN 2.0, when you see it, when we announce more partnerships, when you see the things that we're doing with Parachain and quantum swapping inside the new wallet, I think you're going to be fairly impressed. But what I'm more concerned about is our community. We need to start developing applications more. The Fusion team is protecting the future of the Fusion blockchain by working their butts off to get large enterprise relationships onto the blockchain. One of the things that I would have liked to see more with PSN 1.0 versus the questions about staking is more the questions about, how do I take the API and how do I build this rich application? Let's go look at some more questions. The question of hybrid consensus with mainnet for POW and POS. Proof of stake is...
The screen's shaking a bit, so can we just
Oh, yeah, sure. The next thing is the screen was shaking, so I was told by our visual director to stop it. Then I got to put my glasses on. We're talking about the hybrid consensus. We're actually coming out very similar to like Hyperledger Sawtooth. we understand the importance that transactions need to support different consensus mechanisms. We have an idea of dynamic consensus that we're evolving. Right now, though, we're focused full-time on getting to mainnet with proof of stake and the ability to install new consensus mechanisms, in which we call dynamic consensus. But we know we have to get PSN 2.0 out. We'll talk about its timing in a few more seconds once we know everyone's on board. And then we want a way in which we can do something called delegation of consensus. And I think that's coming along well as well. I'm not going to talk DCR. Well, did you do the announcements yet about DCRM and all the? No. So there's some real big announcements coming out with DCRM. The community manager, the marketing person, Bessie Deitch, will be coming out with some real important details related to that. And it's pretty exciting, but I'm only supposed to talk about the technology around PSN right now. Is that correct?
Yeah. And
our stage network. But there will be when will there be announcements, Jonah? We can't really mess around with people. Soon, right?
Soon, yeah.
Okay. Can you give a more user-friendly guide for running and staking a node for PSTN? Because many people aren't tech savvy. The only problem with running your own node is that you need to unlock it. You have a wallet. You have to prove you own that mining node. And I think that's the most biggest technical hang-up, is that we need people to install their key store file so that it can unlock the node, so that it can actually validate a ticket and get the mining. We have improved the instructions on the miner for the Docker image. And probably what we should do is, did we ever publish videos on Docker itself, you and Anjay?
Yeah, but we need updated.
Okay, so I hear you from the community, Yona. We do Docker all the time. We launch nodes, we take down nodes. I think the hardest thing is understanding how to unlock it or set up the VPS. It would be great in the community if they actually form their own pools for validating. That's one of our hopes, that the less technical people could work with the technical people and very quickly build these pools so that they could actually stay together. We see that we have a few people that we know that do that privately. We just say, hey, if you have FSN, send it to me. We see it on the Telegram channel. But we will let's make a focus in order to get out as quick as possible some videos on setting up the Docker images. Let's see. I think PSN, there was a question about 3.0 PSN. No, we're going to go straight to mainnet from 2.0. Looking at some more other questions. So why don't we talk about 2.0 real quick, and since that's the big question on everybody's mind, okay? With 2.0, what we have is we're basically at DEF CON 4. What we do is we get a release of the consensus. Maybe I should step back. I'm accelerating. 2.0, the infrastructure, which we call our passive network, is totally ready to turn on. So what does that mean? We have a block explorer that's configured to a new database for our 2.0. We have the Explorer API that is configured to our new network for 2.0. We have a new wallet with extended functionality, which is our quantum swapping, which is ready for 2.0. We have our real-time reward system and our attribute gateway, which is ready to go live for 2.0. So we also currently have 8 boot nodes running our pre-2.0 network. We have 8 workers, which you would call miners, but we call workers, so Google and AWS doesn't turn us off all the time. And we also have 2 gateways. So we have a complete system that runs the latest builds that we take inside the system. We are frozen on our API. We have fully debugged it. We have added enhanced error information so that our block explorer is rich for the client applications that we're delivering. The only thing that we're waiting on is the consensus and doing it right. We have a philosophy here. And the consensus has been working extremely well. Our test from yesterday was 12 to 14 seconds for each block, running across our various test applications and various nodes throughout the world. The team in Shanghai is in charge of the consensus file. And what we do is when we get a new update, because we did it this weekend, I found a very simplistic crash scenario. It has to get fixed. We start the retesting of the consensus, and we call that T. And then we want to run for T+7. But we're getting extremely close to 2.0 being released. We have a roadmap and a plan for mainnet after 2.0, which will be immediately, you'll see the code base quickly being updated in order to deal with a lot of cool features we want to get in for the mainnet and for our various partners. I'm not supposed to give a specific date for 2.0, but I want to just say that the infrastructure is there. The only thing we're waiting on is resolution of the consensus. And then we'll also want to get a public audit of the consensus done as well. But I would say that if you asked us in our world here, we are running 2.0. We're just going to ship it when it's ready. I'm going to put my glasses back on and read a few more questions. I'm not supposed to address the 2.0 stability, but we're going to, before mainnet, like how long is that gap period? We have to see what we find. Just because we release software doesn't mean that the software is perfect. And that's what the StageNet is about, is to analyze issues and to find problems. So if someone asked, when is, after 2.0, when are you going to release mainnet? You know, the marketing people will tell you, hey, yeah, we'll do it right away. The developer in me wants to say, well, we're having a lot new applications coming online. We're going to have a lot more volume. Just dealing with one of our customers alone, I'm looking at something like 1 million new assets on the platform. So I need to see how 2.0 performs. If it's performant, great. If it's not, we have to be a little bit nervous. Let's fix it. Let's make it better. So StageNets are testing networks. We've done, you know, Wolverine made that great comment, hey, 1.0 had problems. It was BS, blah, blah, blah. I don't see how, I see the argument could be countered back to say, well, 1.5 million transactions, 300,000 blocks. I learned the problems that were in our APIs for time lock value platform, and we improved those APIs and made them stronger. So 1.0 was an incredible investment from the community and from the foundation in order to build a stronger product. And now as we're on the cusp of releasing 2.0, we get more investment back and we make a stronger platform for our partners. We have real businesses coming onto the Fusion platform. This is not some airtight platform, ethereal. This is real business. When we release mainnet, it has to be enterprise hardened. So the release date of 2.0 to mainnet, if you think about it, it's been 3 months now, less than 3 months since we released. Yeah, I mean 3 months for a test network for for literally millions of assets worth untold dollars. I think people want us to be as careful as possible. 2.0, take it live, see what happens, but we have applications going live on mainnet. People's money, people's assets, people's trust. So we have to do it right. So I can't give you a date for it'll be when it's ready. But I think we've done an incredible job, right? We went from February to PSN 1.0 launch. I guess that was 9 months or 11 months. Then we went from PSN 1 to 2 is going to be less than 3.5 months, roughly, give or take a couple of weeks either way. And then, you know, we understand the pressures, and we have been doing a lot of testing here. So I feel quite good about the robustness of the enterprise quality of Fusion and delivering it to our partners. So, you know, we understand those timelines have to compress even more. So that's all I can really say. I'm going to put my glasses on and read some more questions. The ticketing distribution system, we believe, has been improved in 2.0, as well as if you're not mining and that ticket's not there now, we're going to have that fun thing, and Yona is going to talk about it more in communique. But if you have a ticket and it's selected, and your miner doesn't mine now, you lose your ticket. And I'll have Yona write up a very detailed announcement about that we are becoming a live system, and you are required to be online if you're doing ticketing. The Trezor compliant off the bat, we had put some other things forward first. We're very close with Trezor. I can't answer that today. I have to see how it went over the last couple of days. But we know that Trezor is extremely important. Any more questions?
Question on CPU hardware requirements for 2.0 be less than 1.0?
Yeah, 1.0 adds some really horrific stuff inside of the processing. What we're hoping is that 2.0 pretty much will be a 2 CPU box or even a 1 CPU box, but 8 gigabytes. We know that people want to get lower, but we have to understand we're different from Ethereum. We are a system where the Ethereum world and the whole blockchain world is this concept that I have a public address and I only have one sort of asset in there, which is the native representation of that environment: blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ether. Our system is a little bit more magical, that we remove the need for the complexity of contracts in order to deal with different types of tokens, which we call assets, and the ability to securely lock those for time, send portions of that at time, trade in the time with swapping. And this requires us to have more memory in order to do this efficiently. So what we really require is an understanding of Fusion, that Fusion is a financial infrastructure blockchain that requires, in order to expedite financial transactions around assets, the ability to have some extra RAM. And it's always RAM versus speed issues. I could actually read off a hard drive and go, oh, this is the file, let me go search for it. Or I can hold and cache in memory some of that information in order to make the transactions run faster. The other thing is, we're a proof of stake system. You're getting rewarded for ticketing these systems. As such, you have to invest a little bit more in better hardware to help us reach our goal as being the enterprise hardened infrastructure for the future. Any good questions, Jonah? Because I keep throwing on my glasses, but I think at 11
We have 5 minutes left.
we have 5 minutes left. If anybody wants to know anything. What is Fabio talking about with the POW stuff that they're testing? Yeah, currently now, Fabio, we're a proof of stake. We don't have proof of work. We're very low. Related to the consensus, we're very low CPU usage. And so our mainnet will be proof of stake.
Above that we have, can we expect a
Oh,
stable payment?
Wolverine asked a great question about fixing nodes crashing. Yeah, the fixing nodes crashing is exactly the stuff that we found related to the API calls and the bad Merkle routes. We do not see any bad blocks with the current system. We have listed about 30 different defects inside of PS. So Wolverine, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. Payable Stage Network 1.0 had 30 serious memory crashes in it. The amazing thing is that the DevOps at Fusion was able to keep the network running with all of these true panics in the Go code. We have identified many major crashes, especially with our API calls, and have corrected those, added more guards, added more if statements and memory checks. We're very happy about the power, but of course we could have missed something. And as we increase the transaction flow, which is happening as our partners are coming online and developing their systems with us and with our assistants, we might find some more. I found a great one this weekend that we would never expect. So that is the point of the payable stage network. But the pain that we experienced in 1.0 was expected. And from it, we hardened the system that as our partners are dealing with our pre-PSN 2.0 versions in this office, and as Fusion works extremely hard to bring in large customers who will have great solutions with many transactions for the system, we found more defects and we cleaned them up. And I'm pretty happy with these systems that are working with our partners that we're working with closely, as well as all the testing that we've been doing internally to make it a richer system. But yes, PSN 1.0 nodes could crash at any time. The only way to fix it was to quickly sync back over the bad transactions, and then you could run. We don't expect that in 2.0. But I do expect problems, one or two problems with 2.0 that will correct quickly and then get us to mainnet. Any other questions we should attack? There's a lot of questions. I apologize immensely if we haven't got to anyone. I don't want anyone to think I'm avoiding a question. Basically, if you felt a question wasn't answered, throw it up on Telegram for the world to see and say, hey, those Fusion guys didn't get to my question. And Yona will make sure that I get to that question as well.
Any last question, how are you organized the bug bounty program?
So I'm pretty pissed about the bug bounty program because I put together all the docs a while ago, and we got to get the community manager. You can go beat up on him because we updated our website to better search engine optimization, because as our partnerships go on, we're going to get more partnerships. And we wanted the website that people could find us. So we are limited. We watch our staff very lean so that we can keep going strong. So the bug bounty is well defined. We have all the copy. It has to be updated to the website. It's part of the 2.0 release within a week. And I'm pretty pissed that it's not there because people like Arvin and Archivik have done great jobs, and we need to get other people in the community, and we need to go give them some FSN. It's fantastic, and we need more people to just push the heck out of this API, because we have large partners who are building solutions on this. A lot of the people who know how to code will be going to work for these large corporations, and they should be saying, hey, did you look at this financial infrastructure product, this time value product, this ability to create new types of assets? So we need the community to get involved and help marketing this. And what I hope from is that the examples that get out there from our press and our case studies with these new partners, if you know other people in these industries, you go back to them and say, hey, look what this can do. But Yona is here, the Telegram channel's here to follow up on any question I did not get to today. Anything else, Yona? What should we do? All right, I'm going to close up. I apologize if you feel your question wasn't answered. Send it on Telegram. Say the world, that idiot didn't answer my question. And I apologize for that. And we'll get it answered, okay? And I really thank everyone for taking the time to come and join. I want to thank all the community members who have suffered through 1.0. But you really have made a terrific platform, a robust platform that our partners, very large international players and domestic US players, who are going, this is a great financial infrastructure platform. I can build on this quickly. I can do it faster, better, cheaper, and this is a great future for us. So once again, thank you to everyone for joining today.